Good afternoon. Just cleaning up my background a little bit. Good afternoon. It is 1:54 p.m. here in New York City. We're on Eastern Standard Time. Just wanted to come on and spend a few minutes with you. We have a package. We got something to unbox or unpackage today. Can't wait to share that with you. Hi, Ruby24, Runwright Reads Girly. Finally seeing you. Yep, I haven't been on here in a few days. It was a long weekend, and I just didn't have time to come on. And I promised you that when I came on, I would have a review for this book, but I'm not finished reading it. It's been longer. I've been longer away than I said I would be, and I'm still not done with a task that I assigned myself on your behalf. But I did watch the Booker Prize announcement. I saw the winner being announced, and I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that it would be this book because it's the only one from the shortlist that I had read or I'd read any part of. But also kind of thinking, wow, suppose it wins and I still don't have a review ready. But it didn't win. It didn't win. Did you guys watch the Booker Prize announcement? Do you follow the Booker Prize winner? Do you know who won? Do you care? I care. It is a project of mine to read the books that have won the Booker Prize, and I'm going through and I'm collecting them and I'm reading some of them. Going through that list very, very slowly. Almost seems like I have made no progress in the past couple of years where that project is concerned. But I am very interested in the books that are winning because eventually I think they will end up on my shelf. These two shelves right here are Booker Prize winners. And so the book that is going to be added to this collection very soon is Flesh by, I'm not sure how to say his name. Not sure how to say his name. He's a Hungarian author, and I think his name is pronounced Zele. Has an S before the Z. Reminding myself of Magda Zabo, which is Szabo, I think. So yeah, you saw my post on Instagram. Yeah, I shared the posts. I shared the Booker winning. I shared the Booker Prize post to my stories because I watched the announcement live here on YouTube. And it was really interesting because there were all a flurry of excitement where everybody was watching to see the announcement. It was live streamed here on YouTube, live streamed on Instagram, as well as it was I think it was being broadcast on a radio station, I think Radio 4 or something in England. And so people who were in the comments on the live stream on YouTube were complaining that it was behind. There were some technical difficulties with the live stream. So in one place it was not live. And then the microphone kept cutting out, and I kept filling the space with some jazz that was very nice music. It just wasn't what we had come to hear. So it was really interesting. The reactions and the predictions, even in that late stage, just a flurry of activity on the live stream. And I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed that experience of being with a group of people while something so important in the bookish community was happening. And I guess that's the kind of space that I'm hoping to cultivate here, where we get together and discuss something about books or otherwise. So, just need to start working on that. I'm going to be making some plans for the second half of the month, second half of November. Just maybe doing something a little bit more interactive with the lives. So stay tuned for an announcement about that, hopefully coming soon. But yeah, spoiler alert, if you did not watch the Booker announcement and you haven't heard which book won the Booker, it's not this. It is not The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kiran Desai. First novel from this author in over a decade. And her previous novel, she had won the Booker. And, people were thinking maybe she would do it again. She didn't. She didn't win. She didn't win, but I think the book is excellent. One of the things that draws me into Kiran Desai's writing, that was my experience reading her book, The Inheritance of Loss, which was this one right here. I felt like the book is set in two places. It's set in India, and it's set in New York City. And we're following characters who leave India and go to New York, and people who are immigrants in New York and pining for their lives in India, trying to assimilate, trying to adjust, but experiencing the challenge of being a transplant, being an immigrant, and what it's like in those places. Comparing poverty in New York City with poverty in India. Um, and the reader having an opportunity to think about which one is more, which person, which setting is constitutes more lack. Very interesting, just very interesting, how the author sets up dual settings. And I thought it was such a strength in this book. So I was definitely looking forward to seeing how she would do it in this book again. And I think she does it excellently. We first meet the characters in India, and we are connected to the people that they know in the United States. In this case, it's Vermont, the granddaughter slash niece of the characters that we meet in India. She is studying in college in Vermont, and we're connected through a phone call that they exchange on an important day in the family. And so then we switch and we start to follow the young lady who is in university, and we get like so immersed in what it is like to be an immigrant, a foreign student, a young woman who is being moved from, or who has been in some way removed from her identity and her connection, and how she forges this new identity, what it looks like when you have to kind of remake who you are far away from the people who have known you and would probably judge you because of, your family or your background, and how you present yourself to the world. And it's so interesting how she does that. And I love it. I love this book. I love the book so far. I'm not done. Like I said, not done, but I am enjoying it. So this is the first book. It's taking me so long. This is the first of the 10 before the end of the year book stack that I created. So I definitely want to speed it up and see how fast I can finish it so I can move on to something else from the stack. But I'm also just really, really immersed in the book. And so I don't want to rush it. Something that I saw someone say, they were interviewing. So on the Booker winner announcement, we got a chance to see some of the people who were attending the event. And there's some light. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare. So the interviewer, um, while they're waiting for the Booker to be announced, or it might have been like right after the announcement when they were kind of going back outside, and they were showing some interviews. And we saw an interview with two celebrities that I'm not very familiar with. One was an actor named Lenny Henry, who I do know, way back in the day. I used to watch British comedy, and I know his name as a British comedian, Lenny Henry. But the woman that he was with, I didn't know who she was, and I think they're both celebrities. In any case, the interviewer asked, "What makes a good book?" And it was just so interesting, the answers, their responses. And Lenny Henry's response is one that will probably live rent free in my mind. He said, "A good book is one that you don't want it to finish. So you slow down as you get to the end." And I was like, that is so true. It's like if you are really immersed in the book, you read up to a point, and then like you're reading like voraciously, you're reading like so fast you want to consume the story, but then you get to a point where you are just so comfortable with the characters, so comfortable in the space that the book shares, that you don't want to leave it. And so he said a good book is one that slows down at the end. And yeah, I just love that quote. I just love it. So let me know if that's you, if when you are enjoying a book, if it kind of makes you want to read a little bit more slowly, because that is definitely what is happening here. And I can't read it too slowly because the book is almost 700 pages. So I do need to speed it up if I'm going to have a chance at getting to the other books in the stack. But let me know if that's you. So yeah. Um Rumi24 says, didn't get to watch the live on Friday or Thursday. I don't know. Sorry, I was sleeping. I think I was so tired. Yeah, it was on Thursday. My daughter had a long weekend from school, so she was off on Friday as well as on Monday. And so I didn't do a live on Friday, I think. I can't recall. So I did do, no, that's not true. I'm misremembering. So I did do a live when my daughter was here, but I can't remember if it was Thursday mm, Thursday when we came home or Friday when we were here. I don't remember. It's a long weekend. A lot has happened since then. Um, book wise, life wise, just so much has happened. So I don't remember exactly which day it was, but yeah, I came on and I was just reading. Um, and so in the live, I read the first few pages of this book. I think the first 15 pages, just to share the beauty that is this prose with you. So that was mostly what that live was. Not too much talking or shooting the breeze like I'm inclined to do. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on, though. Hi, my cozy little library. Welcome. So we have a book to open to see what it is. Penguin Random House sent me this package, just saw it today. So we are going to open it. Without further ado, we are going to open it just to see what it is. It may be a book that was published yesterday, because yesterday, Tuesday, is pub day here in United States. So it may be a brand new book, newly published yesterday. It may also be a book that's coming out that hasn't yet been released and is coming out next week or in the upcoming weeks. So shall we see what it is? Thank you so much, the publishers, for gifting me these books. I don't always have any idea what the books are going to be, but I'm always so excited to receive them. So I'm going to close my eyes and show you the book first, because that's what we do around here, because the publishers send the books for you. Publishers send the books for you. I hope I didn't just flash you my information. Oh, it is Laws of Love and Logic. I love alliteration. I love some alliteration in a book. Laws of Love and Logic. So this is an advanced reader copy. This is an arc of a book that is being published in February 2016. So I am probably just going to put this one to the side because I'm not going to be able to read it right now. I have a lot of other books to focus on, and I have up until February to post a review of this and still be early. So I'll tell you what it is about right now, because since I'm not going to read it now, I won't spoil myself. Lily, Laws of Love and Logic. Okay, I gotta go. There's someone at the door. Yeah. So sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I had to run away. I just got, ooh, sorry. There was someone at my door and I just had to go answer. And yeah, it was a solicitation. And I have a hard time. It seems like I have a hard time saying no. Anyway, I didn't say yes. I didn't say yes, but I was just listening to what the person had to say, the presentation. I apologize. So yeah, Laws of Love and Logic by Deborah Curtis. But more alliteration. The main character's name also starts with L. Lily Webb, Lily from Laws of Love and Logic. Lily Webb is deeply in love with a charismatic boy, but their dreams of a life together are cut short one night when an irrevocable choice tears them apart. As the years pass and the boy who was once everything to Lily reemerges, she struggles with questions around that terrible night in high school and with reconciling the wild wonderment of her first love with the comfort and safety of her second. Okay. So, can one heart hold two great loves? That's the tagline up at the top. Can one heart hold two great loves? A woman finds herself torn between her first love and her devoted second love. This is a debut novel from Jenna Bush Hager's Thousand Voices. So this is a new imprint. This is it an imprint? Yes, it's called Thousand Voices. So Jenna Bush Hager has an imprint that's coming through Penguin Random House Ballantine Books, and so I think this is one of the first books that's being published from this imprint. So I'm very, very excited to have this. I have had really good experiences reading the books that are on Jenna Bush Hager's book club selections. So highly anticipating reading this one. So, so, so excited to have it. Um, it's a cool painting too. Painting in the background, like the texture. Love it. So that's the book that the publisher sent me today. The book is not coming out until February 2026, but I got an ARC. So I'm very excited to read that. Thank you so much for being here and sharing a few moments with me. Let me know what you guys are reading. Um, a few other things that happened in the bookish community since we've last spoken. So we talked about the Booker Prize announcement, the book Flesh by I tried to well, not order. I tried to look. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to ask you. Can you still see me when I switch over onto another tab on my computer? Can you still see and hear me? So I'm going to do it again. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me, see me when I switch over. Flesh, a novel by David Zale. Could you still see me? Oh, okay, great. So yeah, I looked on Amazon to see if the book was available, and I guess because it took me a couple of days, the Booker announcement was on Monday afternoon, and I didn't look at it until earlier today. I was looking to see if the book Flesh, the Booker winner, was available from Amazon. It's not. It is temporarily out of stock, which is a great thing. It means that the Booker announcement is doing exactly what it should do, which is push a book that may not normally have that readership into just appearing now on everybody's list of books that they want to read pretty soon. So the author is Hungarian, I think. um, the novel was published by Simon and Schuster. It is about teenaged Istvan lives with his mother in a quiet apartment complex in Hungary. Shy and new in town, he is a stranger to the social rituals practiced by his classmates and is soon isolated, drawn instead into a series of events that leave him forever a stranger to his peers. Uh, his mother, and himself. In the years that follow, Istvan is borne along by the goodwill or self-interest of strangers, charting a rocky yet upward trajectory that lands him further from his childhood and the defining events that abruptly ended it than he could have possibly imagined. Um, yeah, about the author. Here we go. Um, okay, so David Zale is not Hungarian. He is of Hungarian background. I think it's his author bio on the publisher website says he was born in Canada. He grew up in London and he now lives in Vienna. Three countries mentioned, and none of those three countries are Hungary. His main character is Hungarian, so let's be clear about that. So, retracting all that I said earlier about the author, Hungarian background perhaps, but not um, from Hungary himself. Was born in Canada, grew up in England, and currently lives in Austria, Vienna. Currently lives in Vienna. So, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. How close is Vienna to Hungary? One of these days, we're going to work on our European history or European geography through a European tour. um, I've never been to Europe. The countries I have been to thus far do not include any European countries. So my European geography sometimes is a little um, is lacking. Let's say it like that. So I'm not sure how far Austria and Hungary are from each other. I'll have to look that up. Um, yeah. Very excited though to find a copy of the book and read it sometime soon to make my numbers of the Booker winners that I have read to improve my statistics. But let me know if you're planning to read it too. Let me know if you're planning to read it too. The other thing that happened in the bookish community, big news in the bookish community, happened yesterday, I think. The Goodreads Choice Awards have been, I guess the long list has been published. So the opening round of the Goodreads Choice Awards has been announced, and you are now invited to vote for your favorite books of 2025. So, all these categories: fiction, historical fiction, mystery and thriller, romance, romantasy, fantasy, science fiction, horror, debut novel, audiobook, young adult fantasy and sci fi, young adult fiction, nonfiction. Nonfiction split into three categories: just general nonfiction, memoir, and history/biography. So I will be going through the list to see which of these books I have read, and I will share that with you because I would like to vote on some of these. Goodreads also populates your home screen with the books that are nominated, the books that are on the list of Goodreads Choice Awards, letting you know how many of those books you have read. And I have not read many of them thus far, which is just terrible, just terrible. So I will be going through and seeing books that I maybe want to read. Like some of the nominees on my shelf include Share, the memoir, part one. So Share's memoir has been nominated in Reader's Favorite Memoir. So that'll be interesting to see what else is on there. Let's just open this up. Let's start with that category. Opening round nominees, and there are a few. All right, so here are the books. reader's favorite memoir, opening round nominees: Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams, Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Jeffrey, Semi Well Adjusted by Alison Stoner, Paper Girl by Beth Macy, Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton, Finding My Way by Malala Yousafzai. I didn't realize she had a new book. See, that's why that's why I can't vote on the in the Goodreads Choice Awards. I didn't even realize that Malala had a new memoir. I read her first one. Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yi Yun Lee. I've read something else by this author. Elizabeth Gilbert has a new memoir out called All the Way to the River. I really, really liked her book, Big Magic and Eat, Pray, Love. Um, I wonder which of those books this new book will be about, because they were very, very different. If you're familiar with the Eat, Pray, Love franchise, because it started as a book. It started as a book and it was a movie. And I love both. I consumed both and I loved them because I loved her story of how she walked away from something that other people thought was the perfect life, perfect, dream life, and went to find fulfillment by exploring what the rest of the world had to offer her. So that is kind of in response to your comment, Rumi24. A European tour, that sounds exciting. Yes, it's not going to be anytime soon, but I like to think about it. Um, the, the pull of places that we haven't been to yet, and thinking about them a little bit. So, um, Eat, Pray, Love was Elizabeth Gilbert's attempt to find what the rest of the world had to offer her. And I loved her story, why she went searching, what she found, and how she reconciled her previous life with her current life, and what she wanted her future to look like. And then Big Magic was her talking about being inspired by the world, and how we use the things that are around us to create. And it was more of meditation on creativity and being creative. Um, and I just really, really, I just really, really like that book. And I don't have a copy. I should get a copy so I could reread it. So those are the only two things that I have read from Elizabeth Gilbert, and I want to read more from her. So she has a new memoir called All the Way to the River, subtitled Love, Loss, and Liberation. More L alliteration like this book. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to see. Other books in the category, because we weren't done. There was some more nominees. There was Vagabond by Tim Curry, Big Dumb Eyes by Nate Bargatze, The House of My Mother by Shari Frank, Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy, who I have loved her fiction. She's another Booker Prize winning novelist. She wrote this one, The God of Small Things. Arundhati Roy is the author of The God of Small Things. So she has a memoir out. Awake by Jen Hatmaker. The Tell by Amy Griffin. Did I read this? I have a copy. I didn't finish it. Oh no. Okay, I need to finish that book. The another book is Joyride by Susan Orlean, Memorial Days by Geraldine Brooks, My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner, an actor, Matriarch by Tina Knowles, which I started reading and didn't finish, 107 Days by Kamala Harris, the memoir Part 1 by Cher, and yeah, that's those are the books. Those are the books that were nominated for the reader favorite memoir. So longer list. What is this? 20 books. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 20 books in that category. So I'm gonna have to see if I can read a couple more books before I vote. When are the votes due? if you want to vote on the Goodreads Choice Award, you have until November 25th to do it. So the opening round is from November 11th to 23rd. No, not the 25th, the 23rd. And I guess they take a day, November 24th, to tally up the finalists. And so the final round is announced on November 25th, and you have until the end of November. So just 5 days at that point to um, maybe vote again on the final round. And then the winners are announced on December 4th. So I would like to see if I could maybe read a couple of these, so I could vote a little bit better in one of these categories. My generally my the genre that I read most from is fiction. So let's see what's in the fiction. Ha 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 ha. Guess what's Guess one of the books that's nominated. My current read. My current read. Yes, darling. Ponytails. The dog had ponytails? Yeah. Are they still called ponytails if they're on a dog? Or are they called dog tails? I think dog tails. That's so cool. All right. So in the fiction category, a few of the books that are mentioned are books that I own, and I should just probably try to see if I can read them. All right. So here are the reader's favorite fiction opening round nominees. Do you have any guesses? Tell me a book that you think is going to be on the list if you haven't seen the list yet. If you've seen the list, then you already know, then I guess you can't play this game. But a book that you think is going to be on the Goodreads favorite for general fiction. Fiction, it doesn't have to be general fiction, any kind of fiction. So novels that are not genre fiction, I suppose. So not romance, romantasy, sci-fi, YA, um, romance, romantasy, sci-fi. Did I say all of that already? Historical fiction, so not historical fiction, but other books that are fiction. So maybe like general women's fiction would probably get in here, but literary fiction would also be in that category. So I think this, I think this. I'm saying that. I'm cheating because I already saw it on the list. That is my current read is going to be on this list. So here are the opening round nominees, and these are all going to be books that you have heard of this year. Dream Count by Chimamanda Adichie, My Friends by Frederick Bachman, The Names by Florence Knapp, Life and Death and Giants by Ron Rindo, The Girls Who Grew Big by Layla Motley, The Three Lives of Kate Kay by Kate Fagan, more alliteration, The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong, Heart the Lover by Lily King, River is Waiting by Wally Lamb, We All Live Here by Jojo Moyes, an author that I have read most of her books and really intended to read this book earlier in the year, and it just kind of slipped me. I got it from the library once and I didn't have the time to read it before it was due to be renewed, and I returned it to the library and didn't get it back. Just didn't get it back. What is wrong with me? I'd forgotten that this book came out this year. This is We All Live Here by Jojo Moyes. The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Brathwaite. That's the author of My Sister the Serial Killer. The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kiran Desai. A Guardian and a Thief by Megha Majumdar. The Academy by Eileen Hildebrand and Shelby Cunningham. Eileen Hildebrand and her daughter, Shelby Cunningham. Okay. I didn't realize that she had a collaboration book. These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean, a book that the publisher sent me and I did not read during the summer. What We Know by Ian McEwan, who's the author of Atonement. I read his book, Amsterdam, a few years ago. It was one of the books, it was nominated for the Booker, it was a finalist for the Booker Prize one year. I had done this series on I was doing this series on YouTube a few years ago where I was taking a particular year and reading all the books that were shortlisted for the Booker Prize and seeing if I agreed with the Booker judges about what the strongest book of the round was that year. And I remember the one of the years that I had chosen, I had read Amsterdam by Ian McEwan. And so I really, really enjoyed it. And I haven't read his more popular book, which is Atonement. But every time I see Ian McEwan's name on a list, like a book list, it's always for Atonement, the one I haven't read. But I just really thought his book Amsterdam was so strong. Um, I read another book from him a few years ago, a couple of years ago, Purple Scented Novel, which was very disturbing is not quite the word. It is there was something that happened in the book that was difficult to read. It was difficult to read, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. It's just a book that a story that you think about. And I want to read more from that author. So nice to see that he has a new book out called What We Know, Ian McEwan. Jason Mott has a book on the list. It's People Like Us. He wrote this book, hell of a book that I read a couple of years ago. It was nominated for the BookTube Prize. I read it because it was a candidate in the BookTube Prize, and it was such a interesting story. It was one of those kind of speculative, where you're not sure who the author versus who the main character versus if there is another secondary narrator, when all of those things kind of overlap and the reader is uncertain about who we're reading. I thought it was such a strong read. Then there is 3 Days in June by Ann Tyler and Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. Those are the books that are nominated for the reader's favorite fiction. So I will be checking out a couple of those titles and seeing if I can vote. I'd like to vote in the rounds. So I will probably come on. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow, just because I have an appointment early in the morning. I know I won't be here in the morning, and then I'm not sure how early I'll be back in the afternoon, if I'll have time before I get my daughter from school. So I just wanted to come on and spend a couple of minutes with you today. So I'm gonna have to go now because, like you could probably tell, my daughter is home. She had a half a day of school today, so I gotta go hang out with her. So thank you so much for being here. I will, next time I talk to you, hopefully I would have finished this book and I can tell you a little bit more about the story. But for now, that's my current read. It is great to see you. It's great to spend some time with you too. My cozy little library and Roomy 24, Runwright Reads Girly. Thank you so much for being on here. I love that you are coming up in the live chat as number one commenter. Love it. So thank you again for spending some of your afternoon with me or evening. And I will see you hopefully in the next couple of days. If not tomorrow, then on Friday sometime. Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy your afternoon. We will talk about the book that we just received sometime soon, but probably not right now, just because, like I said, it's an arc and it's published in February. We have a little time to read it, although I'm feeling really, really drawn. And I'm a huge mood reader, so who knows? But thank you so much. See you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Yeah, I'm excited to see you on the next live too. See you later.